Are they high enough?
Yep.
Okay.
Everybody good?
We ready?
Good.
You good? Everybody's good? All right. I'm Captain Andrew Power of the Windsor Police Department. I'm here today to talk about the events that happened yesterday on Clover Street. We were called at 5:42 a.m. Yesterday morning, so that's Monday, May 11th, which really started as a medical call. We got report of there being injured parties in the home. There was a total of 3 injured persons in the home, 2 deceased women, and the third party is the person who called us. He's a male party. He's currently in the hospital being treated for critical wounds. I'm not going to be releasing his identity because he is a victim. I did release the identity of the 2 women. They both resided at that home at 70 Clover Street. Their names are Sandra Marcy, she's age 78, and Marianne Durzenka, I believe is how you pronounce it. They had suffered fatal wounds at the scene and were pronounced dead at the scene. Our investigation during the day consisted of the Connecticut State Police Major Crimes Unit Central District assisting us with evidence collection at the home, as well as the Windsor Police detectives conducting many interviews throughout the day that led us to the arrest of 2 17-year-old male juveniles last night for the charges that I listed in the report. Murder, conspiracy to murder for one of them, assault first, and criminal liability for the acts of another. I won't be releasing the identity of the males because they're juveniles. They are both Windsor residents. Does anyone have any questions? So obviously with the arrest being made, there's still a lot of investigation to be done, and I'm not in a position yet to comment on that. There's still a lot of legwork that our detectives have to do. There are other locations that we're still investigating at. So this is very much an active and ongoing investigation. So unfortunately I can't comment about the circumstances that led up to that, or even the relationships of the people involved. I really can't comment on that. All I'm going to say is there are other locations that we're at, but I can't comment. There may be others that we're going to as well, but I can't comment as to how that ties in at all. Again, it's still a fresh investigation, very much being investigated by pretty much every detective today as well.
What were they killed? Was it gunshots?
Again, that's part of the investigation. I don't want to comment on yet. Again, and we're still waiting for the ME to give us some specifics. We expect that to be done either today or tomorrow, we hope. The COVID has required a little extra time for things to happen, so we have to be patient as far as that goes.
Can you tell us if these 2 teenagers have any criminal record or were known to the Windsor Police Department or any other police department?
I don't know about the criminal record myself. That really never came up in the investigation, and I'm not sure about the extent to which they're known to the Windsor Police.
Can you say whether this was a random act or were these 3 individuals targeted?
Again, as part of the investigation, I don't want to comment on. I can say that, as I said in the press release, we're confident that there's no danger to the neighborhood or the community at large. Again, that's part of the investigation that is still sensitive, and I don't want to comment on that yet, unfortunately.
Are you expecting any other arrests?
Not at this point, but again, with the work that's being done today and probably the rest of the week at least, and probably for the near future after that, there may be other avenues that we discover that there may be. I'm not saying for sure there is. I'm not even sure there is.
Are you able to say at all if the suspects
again, there's a lot I'd like to be able to tell you, but I'm not. I don't want to compromise the investigation by releasing too much at this point. I can't, unfortunately.
What's your message to neighbors? I mean, 50 folks slain, a third person injured in their neighborhood. What do you have to say to them?
I tell everybody to practice safe practices at home. Lock your doors. Make sure your first floor windows are locked, and and talking to other officers, make sure your cars are locked at night. You don't leave your garage door open, or people. Oh, I left my car unlocked. No big deal. But your garage door open a lot of times is in the car. Could allow access to the house. So we always like to caution people. It's always a good idea before you go to bed. A lot of people call it the 9 o'clock routine. Before you go to bed, make sure everything's secure.
Can you confirm how many people live at that residence on the street?
I understand there was 3 people that lived there. So we're, like you folks, we're practicing social distancing as much as we can. If we're in close contact, if 2 detectives are working closely together, they're wearing masks, washing their hands all the time, sanitizing as much as they can. Unfortunately, the pandemic doesn't stop things like this from happening. It makes it a little bit of a challenge sometimes when you have to investigate stuff like this, but we did our job yesterday. We did it well. And we want to thank the Connecticut State Police for assisting us, as well as the Hartford State's attorneys. They were very instrumental in helping us pull this case together. But again, we all practice social distancing. I don't think during the whole day, I don't think I was within 6 feet of somebody. So, and if I was, I had to wear a mask. So, and everybody's doing that.
How do you do that at a crime scene? It must be near impossible to do.
It's difficult. It's not impossible. We've learned, everybody's learned different ways to have to do things in today's pandemic age, but again, you'd have to be smarter about it. You have to think about how you're gonna approach something. A lot of the detectives, they're using their hands to gather evidence, not using their mouth or their nose, so they have a mask on, and they're taking precautions. They're wearing rubber gloves anyway at the crime scene, so we're being safe. I wouldn't classify it as an uptick in crime. I think as we approach May 20th and beyond, we're going to see more traffic on the road, as some people are able to return to work and businesses can open in a restricted fashion. I think with an increase in traffic will come more car accidents. As businesses open, we're going to slowly probably get back to normal, if you will, the before the pandemic normal. But our officers are out every day. Again, they're as much as they have to. They practice social distancing. They're wearing masks. They all have masks. If we have to come in contact with a patient that has COVID, we social distance as much as possible. Wear a mask. We wear even full PPE if we have to. So it's not impossible. It's just different and difficult. But I don't. I know that the juveniles were brought to the juvenile holding facility in Bridgeport last night, and I expect at some point during the day today they'll be arraigned at the Hartford Juvenile Court.
And the 2 deceased individuals, they were deceased upon entering the home. There was no.
That's correct. That's correct.
So they would be arraigned at?
I believe Hartford Juvenile Court.
And do you know if this case will remain a closed court process?
I'm not sure about that. I know that there's a lot of restrictions in place with the court system. They're doing as much as they can. We've had to modify a lot of our techniques when interacting with the court and the judges and the prosecutors. So I believe they'd be better able to guide you as to how they're going to handle procedures from there on in.
Would you be able to tell us whether these suspects are still school students?
I'm not aware of that. I don't have that information. I apologize.
We did see that the DPW was there yesterday too. I believe they were checking some of the manholes, storm drains.
Yeah. So as part of any investigation, it was trash day over there yesterday. So we don't quite know. We weren't really looking for anything in particular. So it's just a matter of checking off all the boxes. You know, check the storm grates if someone ran away from the home, which we didn't have information like that. But it can't help to check anywhere where something could have been discarded. You know, we did check some trash barrels. We're going to check everything we think we have to in order to do a full, proper investigation. I believe it was about 7 years ago. That's what I was told yesterday. But I know it hasn't been in the last 4 or 5 years. I can't hear you. I am not aware of that. Oh yeah, Bloomfield, outside the restaurant in the shopping plaza. That was Bloomfield. Yeah. No, I'd rather not comment on that yet. Again, it's still part of our very active investigation. Anyone else? Thank you for coming out. I appreciate the distance, and it's tough, but it's what we got to do.
We appreciate it.
Great. Thank you very much.